Middle of the week on CME, and it's not looking so good, really, is it? Sorry, I'm not the bringer of good news on the Bitcoin front, but well, it's just consolidation. Anyway, let's get on with the price action analysis. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoy the video. So here we go. This is CME chart, and it's Wednesday, right? So there's still how long to go? There's 2 days and 1 hour to go before Bitcoin closes its CME weekly candle, which at the moment is pretty red. So it would also be a bearish engulfing of the previous one, which, generally that's not so good if you're looking for more upside. More significantly, it's currently below the midpoint on the Bollinger Band, which is at 62.5. So fair bit of work to do to reclaim that tomorrow and Friday. Will it do it? I don't know. Not so sure now. My confidence is waning a little bit. But you can see from the point of view of momentum, it's kind of around the same pivot as the midpoint of the Bollinger Band, just a bit higher. So for this to continue to be green rather than red, so continue to the upside on the weekly momentum, it needs to close CME Friday, I think 9 o'clock UK time, back above 63 and change. So doesn't look very good for that at the moment, but still a lot of time to go, and Bitcoin can do some marvelous things when it puts his mind up to it. All right, that'll do for the weekly, so I'll switch back over to my beloved Bybit, and same kind of thing on the weekly there. Let's switch down to the daily. Now the daily looks a bit depressing. This isn't looking like a very bullish candle. It's red and well, what people call these all sorts of different things, but very long wick to the upside. There's 3.5 hours to go. The midpoint was obviously lost yesterday on the Bollinger Band, and so if you like, not last hurrah, but the significant support resistance that I didn't really want to see challenged on a daily time frame would be around 58,000, which is the bottom of the Bollinger Band. It's also here, and yeah, so it's reflected as support resistance previously within the price action. Will the price get down to there? Well, momentum is still technically to the upside on the daily, although it's heavily down, and it's going to continue falling unless Bitcoin closes a daily above 64 and change, which is really quite far away from at the moment. There's only 3.5 hours left to go for the next daily closure. So certainly momentum is waning big time. And then if you switch down to the 4 hour, so you can see there was continuation of the volatility expansion to the downside. Remember, that was all, the nidus for that was with this candle here when Bitcoin closed below the midpoint with a background of low volatility on the 4 hour. And the Bollinger Bands were narrow, closed below the midpoint, and then volatility expansion occurred, and that's a downside move. Now, yeah, you could say it's a trending downside move on the 4 hour. We do have a low, a high, a low, and then a bit of consolidation. It's clearly getting resistance at the previous support resistance area, which was support over here, and it's now resistance. And it seems to be getting some support, probably around 60,000, which makes sense. It's a round number, a psychological number, but it's also a price action support resistance number. It's not as clear on the 4 hour there, but if I zoom back out to the daily, so 60K, yeah, 60K has certainly been a support. So it was support over here, there was then resistance here. There was a lot of consolidation around it here. There was definitely resistance there. There was then resistance here, consolidation here, and we'll see what happens for this next probably few days going into next week. Now, if we go back to the 4 hour, you can see with regards to the momentum, very much the downside, and it's not even going to turn green unless Bitcoin closes the next 4 hour candle, which is in 3.5 hours, back above 61, which it's a little bit away from. So to be honest, the 4 hour looks like more downside, despite it being at a support level at the moment. As I said in yesterday's video, I really don't want to see 4 hour and daily closures back below 57.5. Because I think if that happens, it's very likely that Bitcoin will be heading back towards the low 50s. So I'd like to see Bitcoin hold 60K if it can on 4 hour and dailies. But a very, very last line of defense, in my humble opinion, would be 57.5. So if I wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin's down there, probably won't be too pleased. However, you could look at that as another opportunity, because at the end of the day, the weekly has been consolidating like this for 29 weeks. And as you know, because I've told you this many times, this consolidated for 30 weeks and only broke out on the 31st, I think. Yeah. And so another couple of weeks of consolidation is just exactly the same as what happened here. And look at the move that followed it. So I think while the higher time frame price action is still trending to the upside, and it obviously is, it's not trending to the downside, is it? Then consolidation is just that, and maybe the downside price action should be looked at as opportunity rather than doom. None of that's financial advice, so don't take it as such. It's just me looking at a chart. Anyway, there we are. That's the video. I've taken 7 minutes of your time. Thank you for sharing those minutes with me. And if you've enjoyed it, like, subscribe, share, catch me on Twitter, Simon F. Martin, and join me tomorrow. We'll have a look at Thursday's price action. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.